Yo, 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 it's your man, Mr. Motivation, with Morning Inspiration. Wake up and let's shake up your world. And this is brought to you by Thou Art LLC, Riggins Rendezvous, Riggins Travel, and all things that we do under our umbrella. And I want to thank you all for waking up this morning. Thank you for being with us this morning. And for those who are ascending to the heavens, continue to bless us. Now, this morning, first and foremost, I want to thank you all for tuning in last night where Miss Angel told you all about what she does, who she is, how we travel, what we've been as a company for the past 8 years, and introduce you to this podcast space. Now, we'll be using it for many different things. So if you're looking at us to have one niche, we are that niche. And I encourage you to be your own niche. Do what makes you feel great and watch it flourish. And for I want to thank everyone out there for the invitation that was extended in your response. Numbers are coming in like crazy. We didn't imagine the numbers would be coming in to celebrate my 50th birthday. Now, I don't want anybody to get too excited because it's next year. I'll be 49 in December this year, and in 50, we'll be cruising into my 50. And Miss Angel, my travel agent, my best forever, my life partner, my wife, just a multitude of titles, but none of them could amass to what she is in her heart to me and to the world. So continue to support, follow, like, and share, and go on us with this journey going on with this journey. Uh, Podcasting is been around for a very long time. It's became popular in the last few years, like really popular. So pushing that camera button, I'm telling you, to making the difference between you not feeling the attention and then you getting the attention that you really didn't understand you wanted. But it is a space that you can definitely get into. I was watching it was a TikTok or a reel, and the individual says everyone's talking about how they want to be famous, but no one's pushing the camera button unless they see something else, and then that goes viral. But you aren't in the frame. Share your story. That's what I've been doing for the past all of my life. I've been doing it for the past all of my life, and in the past 10 to 15 years, I've been putting it on camera, documenting it, and I'm telling you, just a reflection on your own life will really show you how you've grown and give you that appreciation for self and understand how powerful you are. And without further ado, I want to go ahead and I want to go ahead and give y'all what we be getting into. December 21st to 2026 through December 24th, 2026, we will be aboard Royal Caribbean. Yes, we'll be doing this on a cruise ship for my 50th birthday party. That's why it's cruising into my 50. Dun, 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 and all the people say, hey, now. Matter of fact, I'm going to just go ahead and play the commercial and we'll get right into all the other things inspirational this morning.
But they don't listen. Better, bring a better bad because I'm bigger, better. Solo, single, selling several shows at every single second. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. Kinda came and crushed the competition. Hope they get the message. Look, living in
I think I had a little technical difficulty on that. That wasn't a full commercial, but nonetheless, we're going to go forward. We're also testing the lighting and the audio, the visual. We did a lot of tinkering to get it to look like it does now, and we'll be moving into our new studio next month, which will we're looking for the best options, best ideas, best ways to reach you. So your input is necessary. Your input is warranted, and we will take everything into consideration. That, of course, we got to wear the pants and move this cruise ship, this tank, this train, this locomotivation along the tracks. So, morning inspiration. Wake up and let's shake up your world. This morning, I want to talk about treating others like you want to be treated and how sometimes it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. So last night I was on a panel and we were having great discussion. We were just discussing business, we were discussing live, we were discussing entertainment, we were discussing individuality and how it spawns out and how others feed off of it. And where credit's not given, credit sometimes isn't expected. You do it to inspire others. I entertain. I'm Mr. Motivation to motivate people. So looking for something in return would kind of be, in a sense, some oxymoron because I do it because I want to be the me that I want to see in the future. I want to be the me that empowers people to just be themselves. Because there was a long time I was trying to be something that I wasn't, and I realized that someone or that something I wasn't was already taken. So I decided just to be me. And if I'm inspired by someone, I'm not ashamed of going after what I see them doing in a different light or even the same light. So an individual came on the panel and we were discussing all kind of other things. But he came on there and he says, "Be blessed, very positive, very positive. Be blessed, stay positive, guys. There's enough negativity out in the world and we don't need any more." And I don't know what came over me, but I said, um, what if I want that? What if that's what I want and you're telling me not to have? And it was like, isn't that an oxymoron? I said, well, not really, because we're all unique. And there's days where I thrive off solving problems. And if I don't have a problem, I'm in the dumps. And then there's days where I don't want problems, but they may arise, but I know how to handle them and get back to my peace. And he says, well, I still don't get it. I said, in order to know happiness, you would have had to know sadness. And in order to know sadness, then you would have to know happiness. That is the median. You know, you find your median in it all. And he was like, well, that does make sense because and I knew it would lead to something. He says, because I struggled for a long time. I said, got it. Right now, you're feeding to the world what you feel about the evolution of you. You're feeding to the world what you feel in positivity. And I said, even with spreading positivity, there's a precaution that you may have to deal with dealing with others. And I kind of gave you that. What if I want drama? What if I want negativity today? What if my growth is oh, hold on, y'all. What if my I don't know what's going on with my camera. I think we got I think I'm hovering over and clicking. But what if my growth today is is in need of some conflict. And that doesn't mean with people. That just means internally. And I think sometimes we process it differently. Sometimes we'll go out looking for uh, drama because we're dealing with it inside of ourselves. And the only way that we've known or grown to do it is to go out and share it with others. Just the same way he came and shared his positivity. And I just want to make that point that sometimes things aren't what you seem. As a matter of fact, someone that you're assuming is doing something could be totally different than what you assume. Think if we take the time and if we have the time and if the opportunity is there to ask those tough questions that may seem a little obscure because we got a whole lot of clarity when I asked that. And I dug down into it and I realized that this person is saying be positive now because they are kind of willing back all the things that they felt like was trauma. So now they're out here pushing positivity, but they didn't realize they needed that trauma to be where they're at right now, to be the positive person they're going to be. And that doesn't apply to everyone. We're all individuals. We're all unique. Thou art was built off that premise. We're all talented, humble, outstanding, unique. And humble doesn't mean someone can humble you. Humble means that you humble yourself or you make yourself less than in that moment to understand it, not to be less than to be less than anything around you, to understand it more. That means you take off of your cloak, your values and your beliefs just for a few seconds, just to try to take in. Because when we put those morals and values and beliefs up, it is hard to have a conversation when it's coming from the other side and it's done with understanding. And that's the direction I was going. I didn't even know what why I did that because yeah, I love positivity. But I also love a challenge. That's like the adage: treat others like you want to be treated. What if you want to be treated like a rancid whore? What if we want to be treated like uh I don't know. You see things being people doing fetishes and stuff like that. What if you want to have your feet licked? Do you want to go lick everyone else's feet? That's treating others like you want to be treated, correct? So I think the wording in that, and our words are powerful and they can be taken anyway. Like when someone says, believe in yourself. One day, for some odd reason, I said, why would you tell me to believe in myself? He said, it's just being courteous. I said, "Well, do you believe in yourself?" And they, "Yeah." I said, "Why do you believe in yourself?" And they was like, "Because you should believe in yourself." I said, "Who should believe in themselves?" They said, "Everyone should believe in themselves." I said, "But everyone knows thyself. You know yourself. So believing in you, especially when it comes from someone else, could, in some instances, look like an insult. Are you telling me I don't know who I am and I need to believe in it? Because belief is understanding or wanting to have faith in something unseen, unheard. I see me all the time. And like I said, didn't do it with any malice. I was just opening up a conversation. And he was like, I never thought about it like that, man. I never thought of it. And I said, because we're so keen on locking in this colloquialism, or we're locking in these values that sometimes we don't take a look at the other side, and then you'll start looking at why are people doing these things, and you'll have a better understanding, not full understanding, but you will have an opportunity to understand better. I'll put it that way. You'll have an opportunity to understand better. That doesn't mean you concede and say, yeah, we're going to do that. That doesn't mean that you're going to go on that path now that you have that bit of knowledge. That means you can better understand, and it doesn't bottle you up. I have friends that are really boisterous about things that currently are being talked about. That's what I'm currently being talked about. And I won't get into specifics, but I've talked to quite a few friends recently, and oh man, the world's a terrible place, and that happened, and this happened, and that happened, and this happened. And I said, not to sound insensitive, but what about the trillions of other things that happen? You've seen that one, but what about the trillions and millions of other things throughout the world that are happening? What about the hundreds of things that happen positive for you today? And you're focused on something that is giving you conflict. It's giving you conflict. I said, is it healthy for you? Because it can be. Like I said, I thrive off adversity. I thrive off at times solving puzzles. And that's what I reflect to. I said, you know what? Is this healthy for me right now? Yeah, it is. Because I'm working something out. And when it becomes unhealthy is when it just continues and it ruminates and it ruminates and it ruminates. And it keeps giving me this push and pull that I don't understand. And that's when I learn to disengage from it. That's the hardest thing to do is disengage from something that's just beating it, you bet. But I will give you an example. If you cannot pay a bill at the present time, if you cannot pay a bill at the present time, now you already know I'm going to be able to pay it, but you worry about it, even though you know you're going to be able to pay it when you get the funds. Then you start worrying, damn, I might not get the funds. And then when you say I might not get the funds, I'm not ever going to be able to pay this bill. It's gonna, well, maybe I should do something drastic. Maybe, and you don't think I'll get a job. You just go catastrophize. Man, maybe I should, you know what I'm saying, get out there and do something to, steal something and or maybe I should sell something because if I need to pay this, I know I'm getting money and that money may not come. You start to catastrophize. Sometimes when you know there's an issue that you cannot solve in the immediate moment, I found for myself the best thing to do is say, fuck it. Just for that moment. Cool. It'll it'll work itself out. 'Cause I already have a secondary plan to pay it when I get that money. And that day wait for that day to come. Wait for it to come. If it comes, boom. Bada bing, bada boom. If it doesn't, then now you can say, fuck it again. We'll work it out. All right. I might need to go get a part-time job for a little. I might need to Uber. I might need to Lyft. And guess what? I might need to just go live on some of these platforms that are paying people. There are so many avenues to circumvent. Um, there are so many avenues to supplement your income right now. Matter of fact, some of those things or jobs you can do or opportunities you can use to supplement your income could actually become your actual income. Yeah, can actually become your actual income. And I'm not saying for a long time. I remember during COVID 2019, eh, we were in the house. I was doing Facebook Lives and I wasn't monetized. And true enough, I was in healthcare in the military. So I still had to go to work. But I was like, man, I wonder what people can do. So I found some apps that were suggested to me. And they paid you to go live on these apps. There was some formulas, there was some math that went into it, but if you learned it, there was individuals making over $24,000 a month or bringing in $24,000 a month. I don't know what was going out. I just know, what was going in. You can see numbers. And there was time my wife and I were both on this app and we were making uh, more than what we were making in the military on a monthly basis consistently. So there are opportunities out there. Um, right now, we're streaming to five, six, seven different platforms simultaneously, and I'm able to read those comments. And I know it's early in the morning, and I'm learning that lighting is better when there's no light out, completely dark. So you start to pan your lighting, and as you can see, it's starting to lighten up, and my lighting is starting to change. I'm starting to get some hard light when I was using soft light to accentuate my face. So, yeah, there's so much and learning. This is what I do to cause conflict to me. I set something up and I learn it. I got it from my dad. My dad constantly is in the need. I don't even think he just wants to, he's in the need to learn something. And instead of going out and being frustrated and learn and you know, he's learned martial arts, he learned this, he learned that. I'm in awe of my dad still to this day, and he's talking about going to get his master's, and he's got 3 or 4 degrees. He's taking stuff that he doesn't even use. It's just the art of learning, the art of educating yourself, the art of bringing information in and sometimes not applying it, but having it to apply when needed. So there are so many things that we can do, and there's so many places that can show you how to do it. And we want to be one of those. Thou art is about art in so many aspects. The art of comedy, poetry, music, the art of travel, the art of employment, the art of seeking and problem solving. There's so many arts out there, martial arts, liberal arts, and we want to be and are a hub for it all. So we want to thank you all for your continued support. We want to thank you all for seeing us get to this point and being a part. Not just seeing us get to be to this point, but being a part of it. Without you, we would do what we do, but doing it with an audience and doing it with those who really enjoy what you do and some that don't. I had a situation where someone didn't, and the more and more they didn't, the more and more they watched. And eventually, we had a conversation, and this person wanted to invest in what we were doing. I was like, "Well," but they said, "I see something. I see something, even if I don't like it." And I said, "Because that's what it is. You're watching it, and you don't like it, and there's people watching it, and they not just like it, they love it." So in that sense, everyone is able to watch something, even if it isn't your cup of tea. And if it's your cup of tea, of course you're gonna sip on it. That's my 2 cents. As a matter of fact, that's my thought for a penny. Because nobody cares about our 2 cents a lot of times. But you put a little razzle dazzle, put a little um, accoutrement on that cookie, and people will eat it up. And if it's genuine and true, people will consume it with the same truth and love. And they will reciprocate it with that same truth and love. I was told, and I believe, and I told myself that I'm going to trust what I see. I'm going to trust what I hear because there's opportunity to show that that trust can be fulfilled. But I also know that sometimes what's said is not true because it's not in action. What's said is not true because it's not seeable. What's said is not true because it's a dream. And I truly know that dreams do come true. So I'll still believe it if I can't see it and it's not in action until it's not in until it's not in action. So that person says, yeah, I don't even do it no more. I don't want to do it no more. I'll never question, were you ever doing it? Was it ever really something you told me? Because I went to the store the other day. And this young gentleman says to me, man, that's a nice car. That's my dream car. And I looked out the window, jokingly, because as a comedian, I'm always looking for a punchline or something to kind of smooth a conversation and put laughter at the forefront. And I looked out when I said, well, where's yours at? He says, what do you mean? I said, you said it's your dream car. Where's yours at? He's like, no, no, I'm dreaming about getting it. I said, well, what's the issue? It's a material thing. Why don't you have it? He says, I don't know if my credit's good enough. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to afford the. And I said, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. If that's your dream car, I doubt that dream's gonna come true, or it's gonna be very deferred to where it's not a dream anymore. Okay. And he says, nah, I'm gonna get it. I said, well, stay there. I said, you just said two things that you can check. You can check on if your credit's good. And you can check and see what the payments are or would be, depending on if you're gonna put money down. I said, you're doing a lot of thinking without not a lot of facts. And that's what we do in our dreams. We do a lot of thinking and we don't have it tangibly set. We start to gather some factual things through experience, through mentorship, through looking at other things that or other businesses and people who are successful at the pathway you want to go on. And we can visually see and we can get some truth, as I talked about before, until we see a snap. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that was fabricated. Oh, that person, that fire festival didn't come to. I watched that, and I promise you, I said that's not a terrible concept. That's the best concept. Actually, that's a very common concept. We see stuff like the fire festival happen all the time, all the time. So that one time doesn't negate that things of that magnitude exist. I've seen the truth in it. I've seen the truth in it. So therefore, that thing showed that it wasn't true because the actions weren't. The game plan was there, concept was there, everything was there, and then when it's time for that thing to go down, it didn't go down as it was sold. And that's what I mean. I'm gonna take everything you say is true. Even if it's not even on paper, if it's not operating, you don't have that store. Man, I'm gonna own the store or I own the store. Sometimes we go ahead and put it out there. Man, I own this store. Well, where is it at? Well, it's being remodeled. You know what I'm saying? Okay, in my mind, it is being remodeled. But as soon as it's ready, man, I'm gonna drop you the act. I love to see dream because all this started as a dream, and it started over 3 decades ago when I was under a bridge, and I looked at the world, and I thought to myself, the world thinks I'm poor. And over a span of a couple of days, and a couple angels that came my way and just gave me these bits of advice. I just told myself, I said, I can't take on the world because there's no need. I need to take on me. I need to take on my world. And I said, you know what? The first thing I'm going to do is tell myself what I am in this moment. And I said, I'm rich. And that doesn't mean monetarily. I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know what it meant. I didn't mean rich and got money, of course, because I had $3 in my pocket. But I said, I'm rich. And I stuck with that. And I stuck with that. And I let that dream, I let that truth be told. And I realized from the moment I said it, I was rich. Rich in my spirit, rich in my soul. Started directing everything internally, outernally, and I stopped looking out and I started looking in. Because sometimes we'll reach for a problem in society, not realizing we haven't totally fix the problems that we're battling inside of us. And a problem inside of us is sometimes choosing this or that and being firm with it and say, you know what, this is what I'm going to go with. This is where I'm going to go. Then that other thing's like, well, what about me? You're like, oh, man, let me think about that. And then you're just back and you're stuck in second or third, and sometimes all the way back to first. I don't hope you got something out of it. I know you did. And that is the beauty of conversation. You can't unhear, and all things that you hear are for you. It's how you decipher it, how you apply it to your life. It's not how it came to you all the time, right? And that has been Mr. Motivation, Morning Inspiration. I thank you all for tuning in. Continue to go out and win, win, win. And we love you. We truly do. May not like you, but I can honestly say I will always love you. Always and forever, each moment with you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I told myself I was a singer too. So I don't care what y'all say. I told myself it's just like a dream to me that somehow came true. Every come on now. I ain't gonna do that to y'all. I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and get along y'all way this morning. But y'all definitely be blessed and more importantly, go out each and every day and be a blessing. And do not forget what's going down December 21st through the 24th, 2026. You can go to our website at www.thatwalkllc.com to go ahead and request your stateroom. Miss Angel is taking information so you can get the stateroom that you want and put that in the inventory. So when we build this manifest and we send it to Royal Caribbean, it's going to come back with deep discounts for everyone. Deep discounts for everyone. I already know because we already surpassed the minimum the first 4 days of it being put out there. We already surpassed the minimum. Now we're into how big do we want to go, and that's that's truly on the people who want to celebrate themselves because on my birthday, my gift to me, my wife's gift to me is the opportunity to celebrate. uh, I've learned that that's my love language. On my birthday, I want to celebrate not just with you, I want to celebrate you, each and every one of you. So go to www.thatwaterllc.com right now. Select your stateroom. There is no money being exchanged at this present time. We just want to get an idea of the staterooms that we need to allocate to book this cruise out in a group so we can send out massive savings. And we're asking you to do it because we know there'll be some that don't. And when they don't, and you say, "Oh, I'm not going to be able to go," we at least have some inventory that spill over. We can turn it all back in, so it's not any sweat off our back. But to have that manifest, we can be like, "Hey, we're- so far we're bringing about 80 people, so we got about 40 staterooms because they're double occupancy. So remember that when you see the price, it's the price for two. Okay, it is the price for two individuals in one stateroom. So don't be alarmed. Okay, I was alarmed too. I was like, that much? They were like, yeah, but it's for two people. It covers everything for two people. It covers food. It covers everything for two people. So we're gonna make it happen. We're gonna make it happen. And I can all but guarantee that this group will have the best pricing on that ship during that segment. I can all but guarantee it. So if there's any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments, please. I'm standing by to answer any questions about anything morning inspiration or Riggins Rendezvous. And oh ship. So yes, when you and I have some Instagram that I'm not going to be able to pipe in. So when you actually fill out the stateroom request, that doesn't that locks in the room for you for that particular that doesn't lock it in, because if they don't have the inventory, it is going to be first come, first serve. Say if they don't they if someone picks an ocean view balcony and they only have 15, but we have 20 names, it's going to be the first 15 that we Angel disperses those out to, and then the rest of the inventory. So it is key that you go ahead and sign up for your stateroom. Just signing up for your stateroom. That's all you're doing. No money is going to be exchanged. Nothing is going to be contracted. You're not locked in and owe anything. I want to make that perfectly clear. Miss Angel did it so strategic that we're putting it out kind of like a feeler, a survey. And it's going to help us build a manifest to say, hey, Royal, we bringing it. Money talks now. We got a lot of potential money here. Give us a good price, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna go ahead and book, book, book. So that part, that part. So proud of that. So proud of that. So we're gonna go ahead and get out of here this morning. I will be live on TikTok in about 20 minutes, so you can come over there if you have any other questions. But thank you all for tuning in to Mr. Motivation Morning Inspiration. And this morning we're talking about treating others like you want to be treated and being the uniqueness that you are. And it's brought to you by Thou Art LLC. Thou is you, and you are art. And together we'll paint this world a masterpiece of peace, love, and unity. So go out and be blessed. But more importantly, each and every day, go out and be a blessing. I'm Mr. Motivation.